follower of Christ just happens to be on YouTube. But okay, we're gonna get into this book now. Man Up, a godly guide for a guide to godly masculinity. Very good, very, very, very great book. We are in, I think, what, chapter 2 now? We're gonna read one of these every day. Hold on, I keep forgetting these names. Make these every day. Wow. Chapter 2, don't fear. Oh no, we read this already. So now we're on chapter 3. Yeah, chapter 3. Alright. Come get this book. Thank you. Give me 1 second. This is what we got to get into. This is what we got to get into. Back. Okay, back. All right, back. Okay, so this chapter, we're on chapter 3. All right, this is we gonna read a chapter a day. So tune in. It's called "Don't Quit." Winners never quit. Quitters never win. Facts. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. All right, come on. So don't quit. I like people. I like people who win, being that I'm a huge fan. When I think of winners, a few people instantly come to mind. People like Jerry Rice, the greatest wide receiver of all time, who won 3 Super Bowls with the 49ers and was a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Winners like Walter Payton, my favorite Chicago Bear of all time, who led the NFL record for the most career yards for a number of years. Sweetness. did the Super Bowl shuffle on my way to winning the Super Bowl XX. Okay, with the 1985 Chicago Bulls. Another great winner is Muhammad Ali, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. Like me, many believe he is the greatest boxer of all time. Because of their flaws, I don't know if it's still accepted to admit that I still like Lance Armstrong, the winner of the 7 Tour de France races, or Barry Bonds, the MLB all-time home run leader. Bonds definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. By the way, outside of sports, there are other winners that I admire, like Sam Walton, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and all these people that have proven that they are leaders and industrial winners in their respective areas of expertise. They have stood in the face of adversity and came out victorious. There are so many others, but these are a few of my favorites. I have always admired people who like to win. Most people say that they want to win, but they are not ready to do what is willing to give what it takes to be a winner. They may talk about winning, but they might even give it a good old college try. But when it's all said and done, the faultier in the face of adversity, they fold. When the going gets tough, they give up. When things get hard, they quit. Be strong. Don't be a quitter. Man up. As a lifelong, die-hard Chicago fan, I don't like anything about the Green Bay Packers. So it was hard for me to even include this saying this legendary Coach Vince Lebroni. However, it embodies everything that I believe in life when it comes to manning up and being strong. Lebroni said, "Winners never quit, quitters never win." He went on to say a very common statement that I'm afraid many have forgotten in our society. He said, if it doesn't matter who wins or loses, why do they keep the score? That's facts. What the heck? I have come to realize that whether we like it or not, score being kept is the game of life. The Bible teaches us to endure through hardships and to finish each race strong. We are encouraged to persevere and to not quit. If you give up when trouble comes, it shows that you are weak. Take the time and stop and think about the statement and elevate yourself. Are you the type of person who gives up when trouble comes? What does this say about you? If you quit when things get tough, are you manning up? Of course not. As a husband, a father, a community member, a small business owner, I admit life can be extremely difficult and there are so many demands pulling at men today. Financial demands to be a provider for your family, social demands for your time and energy, physical demands for you to be present and to protect your family. Yeah. In this crazy world, I get it. There is a lot pulling at us, trying to wear us down and to get us to tap out. Don't do it though. Real men don't quit, even when things are tough, when things aren't going their way, and when the outcome doesn't look so good. Enduring and hanging in there speaks volumes about a man's integrity. This is one of the main ingredients required to be strong and man up. Real men are people of integrity. Integrity can be defined as always telling the truth, doing what you say you will do, accepting responsibilities, for your actions, as in Proverbs 24:10, help your 20s do something in life book. Yeah, both of those things. Winning and quitting both have to do with integrity. Winners are people of integrity. They are truthful, honest in their pursuit of success. They do not cheat or cut corners. They are not the kind of people who avoid getting caught cheating. Instead, they choose not to cheat. They do what they say they will do by striving hard to keep their commitments. Even when the outcome isn't what they want, winners accept responsibility for their actions. Quitters, on the other hand, are much different. Many quitters lack integrity. It stands out to others around them. They are usually willing to quit or cheat or cut corners if they believe that it will help them get ahead. They are often the type of people who play dirty or are known to give up easily. Quitters lack discipline in their personal lives and make a habit of not doing what they say they will do. They look to blame anyone but themselves for the failures they experience. It's hard to respect quitters. Oh man. Proverbs 10:9. The man of integrity walks securely, but he who takes crooked paths will be found out. Winners are the types of people who play with integrity all the time. Most of the time they find themselves on top of the scoreboard as well, but this isn't always the case. Although winners want to finish each endeavor on the top, they are not willing to compromise in order to get there. It's true that the scoreboard determines who ultimately wins and who loses, but real winners are willing to accept the temporary setbacks and to work harder to finish on top the next time. They are resilient. They realize that winning is not something that happens to them. It's something that they have to learn to do. A few days ago, I saw a man wearing a t-shirt that spoke this. In big letters, it said, "I never lose." And in small letters, it said, "I either win or I learn." That's a winning mentality. I've learned that winning is the result of winning is the result of a series of positive and good choices. Winners are willing to do what it takes to live in integrity. They either win or they learn. As a result, they usually find security in their lives. They do what is right and consistently give their best efforts. Realizing their integrity can always be determined by or displayed on a scoreboard. On the other hand, quitters only want to see themselves on top. They are willing to lie, cheat, and steal in order to get there. When they realize they may not win, they give up, avoiding the embarrassment of losing. This allows them to say they didn't really try because they didn't really care anyways. Have you been around people like this? They want to win so badly, but they can't stand the thought of not finishing on top. They would rather quit. I've seen this pattern start with people on the athletic field and carrying over into other areas of their life. Instead of giving their all at work and learning to be better, they would rather quit and declare they didn't want to work there anyways. Or the boss was a jerk. Or they were wronged by some coworker instead. Instead of working through the difficult times in their relationships, they emotionally check out and walk away, looking for more shallow relationships where they can start a new one. They would rather cut tail and run instead of manning up and working through difficult times. Wow, this is pretty good. Put some respect on my name. When my oldest son Trey was 7 years old, we got him the game Disney Pixar Monopoly for his birthday. He absolutely loved playing that game. So literally every day for like the first 3 weeks, someone in the family played with him. He started to get pretty good at the game and would let anyone who would listen know that he was undefeated against his brother Michael. This was no great feat considering Michael was only 4 years old and could barely count to 20 by himself. Nonetheless, Trey made it known that he was on a winning streak. It was very funny that he counted these games as a victory because most of the time Michael would get bored after about 30 minutes and walk away from the table. He was more interested in playing with his Lightning McQueen car, yet Trey counted it as a win nevertheless. I would have to, okay, Michael wasn't the only regular victim. However, Trey would often beat his mom, who doesn't have a natural killer instinct when it comes to playing games, like the rest of us in the Bryant family. She plays games for the fun of it and enjoys the family time over the competition aspect. Although my wife has a competitive side that usually shows itself when she competes against me, she couldn't bring herself to take her 7-year-old son down as a serious competitor. As a result, Trey beat her several times early on. To this day, I don't know that Aang has ever beat Trey at Monopoly, and she's okay with that. The last of Trey's big victims during this time was his grandma and grandpa, my stepdad Mike. That was the only father I ever had, and I will honor him by referring to him as my dad for the rest of this book. At that time, he and my mom lived with us for a few months, and they were usually available to play with their first grandson. My dad was a serious competitor who regularly won most of the games he played with me when I was younger. However, something was different with Trey. Maybe he got soft or wasn't as sharp in his old age, because Trey would lay the smack down on both of his grandparents every now and again. I'm certain they were trying hard and played to win, but it was obviously that Trey was pretty good. That is until it came to playing to me. Now, I'm not the kind of dad that is prone to letting kids win games, especially one as serious as Monopoly. Don't get me wrong, when we're playing basketball, I'll let them score every now and then, or when racing, I'll give them a head start to make it competitive. But my kids know they better think long and hard if they expect me to roll over and let them win. You gotta be kidding me. Nah. You best believe that even when playing Monopoly against my own boy I played to win, it bothered Trey that he could beat everyone else in the house one at a time except me. He got very upset and decided that he didn't want to play me anymore until he got a little better. I'm consulting with his grandma about my competitive nature. She informed him that I always have been the type who plays to win, no matter what it is. She told him the story about when I got in trouble with her because I refused to let my little sister win a game. She wanted me to help build my sister's confidence and let her win a game, but I just couldn't stand to lose. I opted to get punished rather than throw the game. While I like to say that was a reflection of my character from an early age, it was a greater reflection of how competitive I really was and still am. This made Trey's desire to beat me even more, grew even more. Finally, after a month of practice, he laid down the challenge: Buck versus young Buck, father versus son, youth versus wisdom. He was ready to try my Monopoly family title. We led the board out and began to play the game, and it quickly became evident that he had improved. Trey had learned to strategize, and he was pretty good at Monopoly play. He was a pretty good Monopoly player, especially for his age. The game went back and forth for a good while each of us owning key properties with AI toys. Even though there was no clear winner, Aang was calling for me to end the game because it was a school night and was past time. It was past Trey's bedtime. But how could I? I mean, sometimes a man gotta do what a man gotta do. At this time, I had to lay the smack down on my 7-year-old son who was trying to take my title. Bedtime, rest, and all that can wait. It was a hard-fought battle. But in the end, I was able to hold him off and win the game. Trey was upset and disappointed and began to cry, and he was so furious and didn't want to shake my hand. He was so mad at me because he thought he was going to win, but I ended up beating him. He wanted nothing to do with me, and Aang had to come in and help console him. In a normal situation like this, where I made an opponent cry, I would attempt to gloat and rub it in even more. But this is my own son, so seeing him hurt diminished the sweetness of my victory. Recognizing this was a teaching moment, I gave him a moment to cool off. I took him in my arms and I gave him a little talk. I let him know that I was proud for his effort that he gave. And I told him that he played a very good game and showed himself to be a very clever and mature Monopoly player. And he should be proud of that. I gave him props for giving me a run for my money, and I let him know that I was the one who ended the victory that day. But I didn't rub it in. I explained to him that that part of becoming a good winner is learning to lose graciously. Then you can come back and fight another day. With tears running down his face, I asked him if he understood. He shook his head yes and wiped his tears away. I told him I loved him and I had a lot of respect for him, and I let him know I was honored to play with such a worthy opponent. I assured him that he had nothing to be ashamed of and he should hold his head high. Great father. My son learned a valuable lesson that day. Just because you lose a game doesn't mean you're a loser. Learn from a loss and come back and play harder the next time. I was thankful for this opportunity to teach my boy a life lesson. Years later, I can tell that talk worked. When our family would play card games and board games, and Trey is now an excellent Monopoly player. He is very competitive and can always find a way to challenge for the top spot. He had his share of victories during our family game, although if I'll be honest, I'm still the top dog in the house. Yet I have no doubt that Trey and the rest of our kids will be winners in life. They have learned to play hard. They are very smart. They know how to strategize and give maximum effort in all that they do. They don't like to lose and they never quit. They have learned to be winners and have the tools necessary to ensure success. I'm excited to see what they do in the future. Becoming a winner. What about you? Are you a winner? Are you on the road to becoming a winner? In order to be a winner, in order to be the winner that you were created to be, I encourage you to adapt to the following action steps. Don't look for the easy way out. Avoid taking shortcuts in life. If you find yourself willing to cut corners or to take the easy way out when things get hard, you will end up quitting and make winning a habit to remember. You will end up quitting. Make winning a habit to remember, and the little things matter. Number 2, be determined. Things will get tough because life is hard and problems are irrefutable. Be ready for them so you are not caught off guard. Boxers will tell you that the knockout blow is the one you do not see coming. That's facts. Always be ready and be determined when the problems come, and you will fight through them. That's so facts. The one that gets you out is the one you do not know is coming. It just hits you and you were not ready for it. Number 3, focus on long term instead of short term. Most people quit because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They give up hope, and when they don't see a path to victory, they think they might as well give up. I'm telling you, don't quit. Keep your eyes on the big picture and it will help you endure. Number 4, work hard and focus on the prize you are striving to achieve. Be the type of person who gives their best effort. Don't just bribe your time and hope to win. Try hard, work for it, and keep your eye on the prize. To the victor who spoils, the hero gets the girl. Ooh. It is important to learn to be a winner in the small things in life so that you can learn to be a winner in the most important things. Ooh. Getting kind of hot. Ugh. Okay. The most important competition we are all involved in is the one for our souls. You cannot cheat in this life race. If you quit, you will not receive the reward. In fact, you will be punished for quitting this race. And it will be the worst punishment you can ever imagine. If you endure and do not quit, you will win. The Bible says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now a crown is being held for me, a crown for being right with God. The Lord, the judge who judges righteously, will give the crown to me on that day, and not only to me, but to all of those who have waited with love for him to come again. Amen. I have fought the good fight, and I have finished the race. Oh, wait, no. This is an encouragement for all of us to endure until the day of Christ will come and judge all the people and take his people to live with him in heaven. Or if you don't make it, then to your end time. You can't get there by giving up or quitting you can't get there by giving up or quitting in the game of life. Bottom line, if you want to win at life, spend eternity in heaven, you need to man up. Work on your mental, emotional, and spiritual strength so that you are strong enough to endure to the end. Be determined not to quit when things get hard or when the road gets tough. It may take time to develop this habit in your life, but it will be worth the work. Find your strength in the Lord. We learn a great lesson from King David in Samuel 30 after returning from battle. David and his men found their camp has been raided and their wives and children have been carried off as captives. David's men were so angry at his leadership that they were ready to kill him. But the Bible says that David was greatly distressed because his men wanted to stone him. That would be a terrible way to die. David could not have easily felt sorry for himself. He could have easily felt sorry for himself and given up hope, but decided not to quit. I'm sure he felt like giving up since he lost his family and now his men are turning against him. However, instead of giving up and throwing in the towel, David showed us what to do in hard situations. And instead of giving up, David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. Other translations say, David strengthened himself in the Lord. Can I encourage you that instead of giving up and quitting when things get hard, man up and strengthen yourself in the Lord. That's where you will find a never-ending source of strength to be the man that God has called you to be. 1 Samuel 30, verse 6. That was a great chapter. So next chapter is demonstrating excellence. And we will read that tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Be a winner and not a quitter. Do not quit when things get hard. Endure and endure. Keep going. As we know, as we endure, it produces perseverance. And perseverance produces strength. And strength produces wisdom. And all these different things. So, tune into the next video for the next chapter tomorrow, bro.